Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Every driver on this list changed positions this week. We have documented Kyle Busch's climb. Mark Martin, with his runner-up finish at Bristol, also moved up 2 positions, as did Biffle and Newman. They gained some much-needed insurance. On the slide this week, Montoya, Kane, and Kenseth. Just 30 points separate Montoya in 9th from Kenseth in 12th. Further back, Brian Vickers and Clint Bowyer each fall a position. Vickers is 39 points out of Chaseville. Clint Bowyer has his work cut out for him. He has 2 races to make up 112 points. Joining me now via satellite from Central Florida, Speed Radio's Rob D'Amico. Rob, let's go ahead and get right into it. What did you think of the race last night in Bristol?
First of all, Krista, I've had you on the program many times, and you were worried about having your, filling those shoes at Dave Despain. Now I'm worried about what shoes he's going to have to wear when he gets back. How about that one?
Do we want to see him?
You're doing a heck of a job. Yeah, no.
No?
Actually,
wait, let's see. There they are.
Oh, yours? Yeah, we'll see yours. I thought you were talking.
They're pink and brown. They're pink and brown with a little bow. We'll get that up there on the. What did you think of the race? Here, we're going to set my shoe up there. It's a new prop with the die cast. There we go. What did you think of the race?
The race was great. I was a little surprised because I thought the race was going to be, we talk about Bristol. Bristol's been neutered. This is a new track, progressive banking. I thought we were going to see a really bad race. I was surprised to see a great race. I was very impressed with the racing we saw side by side. Double file restarts is, I got to tell you, one of the best ideas that NASCAR has put out there in a long time. I'm very impressed with that. So I was really neat to watch some great racing at the end. Clean racing with Kyle Busch and Mark Martin. I mean, these guys were battling back and forth. These guys were strong all night long. And I was, again, impressed with the racing that we saw at Bristol. I think it's back.
So, yeah, we were worried that it wasn't going to be a good race because the old Bristol versus the new Bristol is what you're talking about. I mean, the drivers claim it's a better Bristol. Obviously, fans in the past, at least the last couple of races, they have not felt so. I mean, we're not seeing as many wrecks. Are fans disappointed? You say you were happy with that race last night.
I was, yes, I am. As a fan, I'll tell you, I talked to Greg Biffle about this. I'll tell you, I was worried that we weren't going to see a great race at Bristol because as a fan, I love watching the bump and run. Getting those guys, giving them the chrome horn, that's what Bristol was all about. It's the hottest ticket, and that's part of the reason why. But last night, great racing, side-by-side action all night long. It didn't matter if you were up in the front, middle, or back of the pack. There was side-by-side racing going all night long. Great run, I got to tell you, from some of the guys that finished up front. Bad night for Tony Stewart. I'm telling you, tomorrow he's going to be at one of the dealerships, turning that car in for cash for clunkers. That's how bad it was for him.
I thought that program was over. Does he still have time to get that in? Hey, you're right.
Tomorrow morning, if he gets there early enough.
Tunnelhead one of our viewers here on the chat. They did say New Bristol's better. They said the better racing, less wrecks. Tunnelhead 1 says New Bristol is better. Let's go ahead and get to a new question. Chase, who makes it? Who doesn't?
I got to tell you, I think Kyle Busch is in. I think Mark Martin's going to be in. And I got to say, if you have those two guys, you have one of the youngest drivers up there and one of the oldest drivers in the series battling for a championship. It's going to be great. Jimmy Johnson going for his 4th consecutive. That is going to be great in itself. And Brian Vickers, unfortunately, and Matt Kenseth, I don't know. We'll have to see how that one all plays out.
Well, let's kind of dissect it more then. We have Atlanta, a different track at this point in the year. It's usually Fontana. I mean, there's still a big track. I don't know if that will really make a difference. Will it? Is Atlanta going to throw a wrench into the plan at all?
Yeah, I think it will. Night race, obviously. First time we're going to be at Atlanta with a night race. I think that's going to be great. Richmond always puts on a heck of a show. But last year, Mark Martin didn't have a great race at Atlanta. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. Again, I do believe Mark Martin will be in the chase. I think Kyle Busch will be in the chase. I think Matt Kenseth. But I think Casey Kane and Juan Pablo Montoya need to watch out because those might be the guys that are heading out.
Okay, we're just getting started. We'll have more with Rob D'Amico when we return. But as we head to break, I want to add our condolences to the long list of those from the NASCAR community paying tribute to Sprint's Tom Murphy. You heard Kyle Busch mention Murphy and his family in his Victory Lane interview Saturday night from Bristol. Murphy, vice president of corporate brand marketing for Sprint, was killed in a car accident last week while on vacation with his family in Colorado. His services were held Thursday in Kansas City. Murphy is survived by his wife Jennifer and sons Ethan, John, and Thomas. Tom Murphy was 45 years old. Here's a look at this month's standings for our Super 7 Sweep Racing Fantasy game. The charge is being led by 68 Mustang GT. But look at there, who's in 3rd overall for August. Very impressive. Remember, 1 week left to play in the month. The player that scores the most points for the month will take home this special wind tunnel late model diecast from American Diecast Company. There are only 10 of these in the world. You will get car number 2 of 10, and it will be autographed by Dave Despain. But if you don't win this one, don't fret. We have 7 more of these special cars to give away, all numbered and autographed. Go to the Super 7 page at speedtv.com to find out how you can claim one of these beauties. And for those of you who haven't signed up, you've got 1 more week to qualify for our version of the Chase, thus making you eligible for a Baja Buggy adventure with Dave Despain, among a lot of other cool prizes. Give it a shot. It's fun, simple to play, and it's free. Now, unfortunately, neither Rob D'Amico nor myself eligible to win prizes since we work for Speed, but we're having fun trying to win the Speed Celebrity League. Taking a look there, Double A, he is talking trash here in the office, but there you see, I'm 3rd for the month of August. Rob, you're still hanging tough, though. You're 8th right now overall for our Celebrity League. Not too bad.
I can't shake the 8th. I don't know what it is. Every week I try to go out there and beat Dave Despain. He beat me on his vacation time, for crying out loud. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. I went into this thing and I said, I'm going to beat everybody, and I fell. I fell on my face. It's embarrassing. What can I say?
That's okay. I'm doing great. I'm really proud of myself, but like I said, Adam Alexander keeps talking trash, so I'm going to try to change things there next week. All right, let's get back to our questions. We've mentioned Atlanta. Let's go ahead and take it one step further. Richmond. What happens with Richmond, the final race to make the Chase? And that's really going to be, I mean, you know, do it or go home. I mean, time for these guys, and we've seen it really be dramatic in the past. What's going to happen in that race? Who has the advantage?
You need guys, well, I think Kyle Busch is one of the guys that has an advantage. Mark Martin will do decent there as well. These are tracks that these guys got to go out and finish in the top 5. Atlanta, Richmond, they got to have top 5s at this point. Forget, you know, getting a top 10. And, you know, you got Marcos Ambrose, who was outside the Chase, and man, he's just pouring it on lately. And that's a spot and a position one of these Chase drivers really need. Matt Kenseth needs it bad. You need Brian Vickers in there. You need guys like Kyle Busch in there. Those are guys that need those positions, and when you have guys that are outside that Chase taking up those positions, it hurts even worse. And Juan Pablo on a great tear. Luckily on his side, he has no DNFs, and that's helping him tremendously. And you got, you know, Matt Kenseth with the 2 wins, but those were at the beginning of the season. I don't know what has happened there at Roush Fenway Racing. Carl Edwards won the most races last year, and now he can't find victory lane.
I know, and Kenseth has always been in the Chase. He and Johnson, the only 2 who've been in every year. He's kind of fallen off the pace. But you mentioned Kyle Busch. There is a lot of juicy stuff going on right now, fisticuffs a little bit with Vickers and Busch. Some strong words. Obviously, it all started with the nationwide race in Michigan. But this week, Brian Vickers said, it must be miserable to live like that angry, referring to Kyle Busch. Wow.
And then he was talking about his parents. I don't know what's going on there, but I love it, and I want more of it. We need it in NASCAR. We need personalities. We need people out there to be outspoken, not afraid to say anything. I will say that probably, you know, Coach Joe Gibbs sat him down and said, hey, read my book here, son. You got to learn by this. But that's okay. I like outspoken people. I want somebody that I can watch on television who's going to say it like it is. I mean, Tony Stewart used to be the best at it. Now he's a little laid back. I mean, he hasn't taken any swings or thrown anything at anybody lately. We need that. Tony, come on, bring it back.
I love it. Bristol neutered, and you're saying bring it on. Very exciting. Hey, Rob, you're going to stick around a little bit because we're going to have a little more with you, Wind Tunnel Extra. Is that cool?
You got it, and congratulations to Chad Reed.
Absolutely, absolutely. SpeedTV.com, that's where you'll see Wind Tunnel Extra coming up after the show. And also it'll be Rob D'Amico, Robin Miller, and your phone calls. That's all Wind Tunnel Extra, SpeedTV.com. More Wind Tunnel right after this.